Hey guys, this is John here. Welcome back to a Tough Puff. And for those of you that care, today's my birthday! And for a birthday present, if you guys could just like and subscribe, that'd be the best birthday present that you guys could possibly give me. Okay, so for those of you who watched my last video, you guys know that I had my first league challenge this week. And my friend Lum found out there's a league challenge and he said, hey, I want to play too, make me a list. So I was like, okay, what do you want to play? You want to play Mega Tyranitar? Because we did invest some money into building that deck. And he's just like, nah, it's too clunky. Then I was like, how about, Vespiquen? It's a very fast deck, very easy. And he's just like, I'm not really used to playing that deck. And I'm like, alright man, you're being picky now. So I was like, how about Primal Groudon? Because Primal Groudon was a deck he ran late into last season, so he's probably pretty used to it. It didn't lose that many cards, maybe something like Floatstone, things like that, so it didn't lose too many. Is it a good play? I'm not sure. I haven't play tested it yet, but I'm pretty sure Vespiquen will annihilate this deck. But okay, so we'll get started with the deck list. So the Pokemon lineup, we have three Primal Groudon. Primal Groudon is not the main attacker, he is the only attacker. Okay, and he has Omega Barrier whenever your opponent plays a trainer card, excluding Pokemon effects or stadium cards, prevent all effects of that card done to this Pokemon. So if it's on the bench or anywhere, you can't Lysander it, you can't hammer it or anything. So if he's on the bench, he is protected until you want to bring him out. Guy Volcano does 100 damage. And if it's a stadium, it does 100 more, and you just discard the stadium. Now, a big problem with this card is it is weak to grass. So, Vespiquen can't hit for weakness on this card. Next, we have 4 Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet is the preferred starter. It cuts off all abilities, so you want to have this starting, cut off all abilities while you set up your Primal Groudon. And next, we have Bundle Me for emergencies, get back cards you discarded, etc. That's about the only thing. You might, you could cut that because I feel like if you resort to using Bundle Me, you're probably gonna lose the game anyways. But that's me. We have 4 Professor Sycamore, 2 Shauna, and a Birch. That's our draw support. Usually in almost all decks, I would say Professor Sycamore is the best supporter in the deck, but in this deck is not. You usually don't want to discard a lot of the cards you have in your hand. I picked 2 Shauna over 1 Birch because this deck can dead draw. So if you use a Birch and you flip a Tails, that could be really devastating. So I went for 2 Shaunas or 1 Birch. Now the best supporter in this deck, it is 4 Karina. Karina lets you search for 1 fighting Pokemon and an item card. So there are so many things you could do with this. You could Karina, grab a Groudon, grab a Professor Letter, a substitute, things that you will see in the rest of the deck. It's just so useful. You could grab Karina, grab a use Karina, grab a Pokemon, grab a VS Seeker, use Karina again next turn. It is just, I'll probably Karina 8 times out of 10 over Sycamoring this deck. Next we have 2 Life Centers to pull up what we want to pull up to knock out or stall. 1 Pokemon Center Lady. This is just to heal our Primal Groudons. Because what's on the bench, if you're playing against like a bat player, they'll probably focus all their bats onto that Groudon. And then we run 1 Teammates just to get 2 cards we need once it knocks out one of our Pokemon, such as Wobbuffet. Okay, for items, this is a very item heavy deck. Okay, first we have 4 VS Seekers, standard in almost every single deck. 4 Robo Substitute. This is your wall, you want to sit behind these. You could Karina, grab a Groudon, grab a Robo Substitute, set up and stall. If a substitute gets knocked out, you could use Teammates. You know, it's just a very good card in the deck. Next we have 3 switch and 1 escape rope. You guys might think this is a little bit overkill, but Wobbuffet has 2 retreat costs and Groudon has 4. So if your Groudon is ready and your Wobbuffet's still active and nowhere being knocked out, you need to switch it out of the active spot so you can start attacking. We have 2 Mega Turbos just to accelerate energy from the discard pile. 2 Hard Charms. Is my tool of choice. I don't think you need Muscle Bands. You don't need Spirit Link in this deck. Trust me, guys. You don't need Spirit Link, which sounds kind of awkward because, you know, usually if you run a Mega Pokemon, you run a Spirit Link, so you don't lose a turn. But more than likely, you'll never have a fully powered Groudon, just a Groudon, and you need to Mega Evolve and attack that same turn. It probably just won't happen. You're probably gonna second turn attach the energy on the Groudon and then just Primal Evolve them and then pass your turn and then sit behind a Wobbuffet or a Robo Substitute. For stadiums, you run 3 Science Lab, 1 Fighting Stadium. Science Lab is to cut off all abilities while we set up, just to stall out. And Fighting Stadium gives us the extra damage if we really do need it. But I don't, you know, it's 200 damage. I don't think you really need it unless you're playing against some Mega Pokemon. Professor Letter, Karina, Fighting Pokemon, Letter, Energy is a great card to have. Ultra Ball. We don't need 1 Ultra Ball because the only thing you will actually search in this deck is probably a Wobbuffet because Karina could get everything else. And then we want 1 Battle Compressor. Battle Compressor is one of my favorite cards. I try to fit Battle Compressor in any deck I can. There's just so many things you could do with it. You could dump useless cards in a matchup. You could dump a supporter you need. You could dump energy from Mega Turbo. You could actually, if Karina is like the only thing, you could Karina, get a Pokemon, get a Battle Compressor, dump, and use the secret for one of those supporters you just dumped. And for energy is 4 strong and 7? Yep, 7 fighting. So that's the Primal Groudon deck list. I made this deck in about 5 minutes, and honestly, I'm pretty impressed. Okay, so now for other cards I thought about running. Okay, you guys saw that I had a 3 split of 3 Silent Lab and 1 Fighting Stadium. You could add, or you know, 4 stadiums or 5. You could mismatch whatever you want. You could add another Fighting Stadium, or you could add a Scorched Earth for just draw acceleration. Next we have Lucky Helmet. Whenever your Pokemon this card is attached to, if your active Pokemon is damaged by opponent's attack, even if the Pokemon is knocked out, you draw 2 cards. This just sounds really good on an active Wobbuffet or even a Robo Sub. You know, get hit, you're building a wall, and you draw a card. That sounds like, you know, I'm actually really considering running this card. 1 Energy Recycler to shuffle 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Let's say early game you had to discard a bunch of energy. You can get it back. I usually don't discard my energy though. I just attach all of them. You know, so you could run this card. It seems pretty helpful. 1 Megaphone, not so popular, but I like Megaphone. 1 Ace Trainer. And for Ace Trainer, the reason I'm thinking about running it is because while you're setting up, you're not taking any prizes because you're not attacking. So let's say a Wobbuffet gets knocked out and you're down a prize. Before you take your Groudon out and go and start attacking and taking prizes, you can play Ace Trainer, drop him to 3, then start attacking, which sounds really good. Very situational though, but sounds, if you could pull it off, sounds very good. And then we have Focus Slash. If you don't want to run a Hard Charm, Focus Slash is pretty good. If you're scared of the one-hit KOs from, I don't know, let's say a Sceptile, a Mega Sceptile with a Muscle Band on it, or a Mega Ray. So Focus Slash could prevent a one-hit knockout. Alright, that's it. That was Primal Groudon. I'll let you guys know how we both do in the League Challenge. Wish us luck, and thank you for watching.